Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. My name is Melody Rose, and I figured I would give you a tour of the things that I'm growing in a small area. I live in a townhouse community. Wish I had a homestead. That's a future goal. We'll see what happens. But this is just my grill area, and I have tomato planted in a pot, herbs. Isn't this gorge? Yes, I love hummingbirds. These are solar lights. But I have this herb basket with chives, some oregano, some sage. And then I have nuts. I have marigolds. Just going to try to show you the stuff that I grow. Here's some basil that I planted yesterday, 2 different types. One's not looking too good. It's been very rainy and very windy here in Pennsylvania. I'm outside of Philadelphia. I'm in Bucks County, so I don't know if that helps or not. This is my table. I had a solar umbrella. Wind got it, snapped it. This is Tabasco peppers, but I don't understand they're taking so long. More herbs. Trying to plant lots of flowers to entice some bees. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of busboy pans that they use in restaurants. You can get them at like BJ's, Sam's, a big box store. And I had a friend of mine on the bottom, down here, I had him put 3 rows of just straight holes. So in here, I am growing red beets. Back here is some more, it's Swiss chard. I know it says little green lettuce, but it didn't germinate. And then I have salad bowl lettuce and giant Caesar lettuce. And this is all Swiss chard that literally was growing somewhere else, and I transplanted it. But I'll show you why. It's my spider plant. Here's the top of my deck patio. It's all herbs and marigolds. The community that I live in, they took down all the trees, so we have no trees here. So I had to plant something that could handle 12 straight hours of sun. So as you see, I have lots of marigolds. And this beauty, which only has one that's getting ready to open. Forget the actual name. Hibiscus. My daughter bought me. And plenty of mint. I have mint growing in baskets and pots because if you put it in your garden, it's very evasive. And there's a chocolate mint right there. And let's continue. So this is just the top lip that goes around. What is in there? Looks like I have marigold and 2 zinnias. More marigolds. Parsley, marigolds, marigolds. More basil. Love basil. I love my herbs. True thing about me is I grow a lot of sage, a lot of rosemary, and I'm trying to think. Rosemary, sage, and thyme, because then I use it all winter long for like the holidays, your turkey, stuff like that. So that's a good little trick. This is my chives. It finally had purple flowers this year. But yeah, that came back. This is the sage, thyme. This is sage from seeds. This basil's not looking too good. It's looking kind of yellow, and that's probably because it's been non-stop raining here. Strawberries in a hanging basket. I have 2 tomato plants in here that are the golden pear tomatoes. So I like that on my deck because I like to pick them and eat them. And then I found this. This year I grow everything from seed. So I bought this, which is zinnias. And this is beautiful. And it is Delilah's. It says part shade. With 2 baskets of impatiens. Showed you the strawberries. And then I have oregano, parsley. This is just on my deck. Don't mind my deck. It's ready to be restained. Here's another little herb basket that I just stuck some seeds in there. So we have, I'm like absent-minded tonight. Basil, some parsley, this is sage, that's probably oregano right there. And, you know, this one goes on fish. I'm like suddenly forgetting everything. This is my first time ever recording. And I have another pot with all mints. Fennel, right? Fennel? It's gonna drive me nuts till I remember the name of it. This I never grew before, but as you can see, this is pineapple sage. I have that in a very big pot. I have more herbs over here, little baby ones that are starting. Some marigolds underneath of it. Chocolate mint. And then I've had this for, I don't even know, 10 years. Don't mind these. It's kind of windy here and I don't have the glass globe on it, but if it gets chilly here, you can just fire it up. And then I have more lettuce over there. These are all baggies that are germinating, and inside here are fall seeds for a fall garden that I'm absolutely going to do this year, like broccoli, cauliflower, those types of things. But yeah, so more lettuce. It's a little dainty. Gotta cut it. And then 3 extra eggplants. This is an issue. This is the shelf that I had in my living room. And I am overloaded with peppers still. I have a raised bed across the street where I live, community garden, and I met a really wonderful nurse and she gave me some odd tomato plants. And yeah, I planted a lot of them. These are everything that I grew. There's still tomatoes and cabbage. Odds and ends. That's my odds and ends shelf. Sorry it's not all cleaned up before I finally decided to grow the courage and record. This is for my hammock, and this is a very different type of mint for my taste, but it's not bad. This is lemon balm, but it actually to me smells like cleaner, but it tastes really good in my iced tea. I do have a big pepper plant in a pot. So I do believe there's a lot of ways that you can garden if you have small space. As you can tell, I love my herbs. This one's next to my grill, so I can just grab some herbs as I'm cooking. There's rosemary in the middle. We have some thyme, some Italian oregano, parsley, sage. Okay, so that is pretty much just what's in my surrounding area, my deck. And then let me show you this. If I can get out. Go out my gate door. This is the beginning of my walkway. I have definitely a thing for suns. Okay, this is all mine. Over here, more. This is my kale. I have lots of different types of kale. As you can see, it's starting to get eaten by some bugs. But I have a homemade bug spray that I make, that I put on there. This was a broccoli rabe, I'm pretty sure, that I left go to seed to attract bees. Here are more seeds for more kale. And there actually is more under here too. So it's great being able to come out and pick your own salad. And then look at that sunflower. That's how much rain we've been getting in Bucks County. This is one of my little in the ground gardens. This is all eggplants. These are babies. These are actually zinnias. Different types of zinnias. Eggplants. My God Bless America flag. This eggplant's doing wonderful. These are my bush beans. Another zinnia. These are the purple ones I just harvested. Some not sure if you'll see any on there. And then I've already planted some more so that when one's done, There's more to fill it out, and I'm pretty sure these are sugar snap peas that were given to me as a transplant, so we'll see how they do. So this is, again, bush beans with some zinnia plants in between there. This is a big zinnia. But look at my gigantic sunflower. I always like to grow sunflowers. So this is this area here. Sorry if it looks a little dirty. It did rain again here. And then here is my zucchini patch, as I like to call it. I did let a basil go to seed in hopes that it would attract some bees, because it's like a major problem here. I've already had to self-pollinate. This is 8-ball squash that I planted by seed from M.I. Gardner. And I did do some hand pollinating the other day. And let's see how we're doing. See, this is the issue. You'll get one about that size, and then the bottom looks like that, and then it'll fall off. This one looks pretty good, so I used a Q-tip the other day. Try to move the leaf out of your way. And took a Q-tip, went into a male, and put it inside of a female. So yes, these are called 8-ball squash. That's another 8-ball squash back there. A zinnia growing up, different spots. And then I have a little rose bush next to it. And this is the interesting one. This is my cabbage patch. I have one that's finally starting to go to a head right here. It's starting to feel firm. I have garlic in between because it's supposed to keep the aphids off. I do have some hole damage, but not as bad as it previously looked. And then as you go down, I have a zinnia dill. That's what was in the other basket. That's dill as well. Rosemary, a sunflower, basil. I have beets growing. You see them? These are the beets. And then these are an experiment. These are all the tomatoes. Very rare tomatoes that I never grew before. I've been gardening a really long time. So let's see, what do we have? These are called Garden Peach. Yes, Garden Peach tomatoes. So I single stemmed them. I'll tie them up a little better as time goes on. And then I did a row of 3 peppers, which are the large green peppers, and I do have a flower. And then I have 3 green zebra tomatoes. Never had them. I don't know if someone else has. So I did 2 rows of the green zebra tomatoes. And then I did Cherokee tomatoes, which are all these, all single stemmed. Took off all the bottom leaves. Put a marigold in there. And my wood chips. And I have another odd one. I think it's called like a mortgage lifter tomato, which is this one. Never heard of it. I do have a baby tomato right there. So this garden basically is all the single stem tomatoes. This used to be broccoli, and I harvested it all. That's the cabbage patch. This is a total experiment, and now it looks like it's split, and I've never done this before. I threw some potatoes in the ground, and this is how big it is. This is my potato patch, and let's hope to God that it comes out good. A couple of stray sunflowers. From the research that I've done, this is pretty big, this potato patch. I think it was only 3 tomatoes I threw in the ground. They're supposed to look green and nice, and once they start looking ugly, apparently then you can dig them up. So, this is that half. That is my patio. Another set. Let's walk over. I'll show you the other garden. In this pot, I have 2 more grape tomatoes. And this is the endless sea of tomato plants. I know they're not the greatest racks that I see on other channels that I'm like a huge fan of. like Arms Family Homestead or Keeping It Dutch. But I've had these for a while, so we'll see. But this is normally where I plant all my tomatoes and green peppers. This is the first year that I did a lot of seeds. I pretty much wanted to do a competition on, let's see how many plants I could grow, be self-efficient, you know, that type of lifestyle, which I'll get into that a little bit further later. But I wanted to see how many seeds I could actually grow, and I think I grew too many. So we have black Krim tomato, which I'm a fan of. Roots and Refuge. She's like my tomato queen. So I took some of her recommendations. This is another black Krim down here, which all has babies on it. And then, yeah, black Krims. I did a lot of them. And then what else do I have? I'm not sure how to say it. She kind of says it a little funny. I don't know if it's Dr. Winchie's tomato, but that would be that right there. There's a few in here. Dr. Winchie's. And then, let me see, large red tomatoes right here. Roma tomatoes are back here with all the buds. Not really sure if you can have sunflowers near a tomato. If someone can get back to me and let me know on that, that would be great. Let's see, large cherry tomatoes, more Roma tomatoes, more Roma tomatoes. And then I have a beefsteak tomato, basil, more eggplant, the purple, the Rosa Bianca, I guess is how you say it. Had a couple in here, they didn't make it, and I transplanted some more and they're okay. Down here is the peppers. As you can see, I have some bug damage that's going on. I'm not sure if it's coming from the ants. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but I can. I have some ants. I don't know if they're doing the damage and biting the leaves. But I have Santa Fe hot. I have banana sweet peppers. What else do we have? Santa Fe again, long hots, jalapenos, more long hots right here, chocolate peppers, chocolate pepper, another voluntary sunflower going, but as you can see, if you look really closely, I have ants crawling on the bottom down there. So I'm assuming that's what might be chewing the holes in my peppers. I don't know, I've never had this problem before. Usually my peppers are usually down there, and my tomatoes are from the middle down. But I switched it up this year. So more peppers. I have Wonder Bell, large Wonder Bell. What else? Some more sunflowers. Let's see, what is that one? YOLO, big red. This crazy tomato plant that is enormous, which is in a pot. I'm gonna have to find a better way of fastening that up. And then we have more big red peppers, Wonder Bell down here. And then this was kind of a cute idea. Well, I have some sugar snap peas back there with the sunflower. Again, still not sure if you can plant sunflowers in with these things. Cucumbers. It's right there. With some more marigolds and some stray zinnias. These cucumbers I transplanted because I don't like to throw out a seed that's already grown, so I transplanted them. They're looking a little not so great today, but maybe they'll come back. We'll see. They were too close. So I have zinnias over here. And then more flowers, try to entice. This is another strange sunflower. Not sure if it's the kind that I planted, if it's the Mexican kind, not really sure. But some of them have that discoloration. This is a zucchini that's in pot. This was a raised bed that I did back in March. Asked permission if I could do it because I live in a townhouse community. Secretary said yes. Long story short, the property manager said no, and it took me a while to get it out. So, talk about being mad. I was just a little mad. More sunflowers. I have some zinnia mix down here. This is my butterfly hummingbird bush that I've had for a few years. It's enormous. I have more strawberries growing in this pot over here. One lone cantaloupe. Never grown cantaloupe before. And then back here, which is just the back side of this, if you take a look, I have a corn patch that I'm really hoping is doing well. But I'm not sure what this is. If this is a stray zinnia that's popping up back here. If anybody knows and you could let me know, that would be great, because if it is, hopefully I can dig it out and transplant it, because this corn's looking pretty fabulous. So, this is everything I have going on in this area. Again, this is the cucumbers, the sugar snap peas, the peppers. So, I mean, honestly, I'm growing a lot of stuff, and whether I have to use containers, I was fortunate enough to have these 2 gardens before, but then someone new bought this development, and they took out all the trees in here. There's no trees, so it's a straight 12 hours of sun here. It's crazy when it's super hot. So again, it's all the peppers. I've been gardening for a really long time. That mint looks fantastic right there, and that's the hummingbird food. I don't believe in giving them the red because it's harmful to them. So I mean, I'm trying to get bees over here, and I've been doing a little thing that I saw on one of the channels. I think it was M.I. Gardner, where you just give them a little shimmy shake, the tomato plants, and you really don't need a bee for tomato plants. But I definitely need bees for my 8-ball zucchini, which I know that another favorite channel of mine, Cog Hill Farm, he says he's been getting them left and right every day. They're just eating them all the time, and yet I usually have no problem growing zucchini. This year, very tough, plus this is a different type. Never grown, what's it called? That's this little area. There's a few stray zinnias in here, as you can see, next to my rose bush. And my zucchini, I planted okra in here somewhere, not sure what it is, or where it is, so I'm not gonna, pull out the weeds until I can figure out if it's even gonna grow here in Pennsylvania. I have no idea. Not a huge fan of it, but I want to try. Jess from Roots and Refuge, she said if you deep fry it, it's great, so I'm willing to try it. And I'm not really sure how much longer it's going to take the cabbages, like I said, because the rest of this was all broccoli and broccolini. Broccoli should have grown a lot more because it was fantastic. Definitely wasn't enough. So I planted seeds for the fall garden for that. The broccolini, couldn't get to it before it went to seed. And yes, so I used this area so I could fit in more tomatoes. And I have a funny feeling, which I won't complain about, but I have a funny feeling that all my tomatoes may come in all at once. So I'll have a lot of tomatoes. But some of these aren't closing to a head. Like this one is. This one's like the best one yet. Some of these are so big that there's no middle yet. So I don't know, it's my first time doing cabbages, and I'm gonna have to come out at night and I'm gonna have to spray, and that's because they just put in, I don't know if you can see it, that light up there. I think it's causing some bugs. And I have seen some cabbage worms when I had the broccoli. I was out here picking them all off, so. And then they have that light there, which now makes it look like daytime up my walkway. So yeah, everyone, this is, like I said, Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. Just wanted to give you a quickie little tour. I've been putting this off because this is my very first time of trying to get the nerve up to start a YouTube channel. I just watch a lot of YouTubers. Like I said, I've been gardening for a really long time. This is just my first year where I did everything from seed. Like, I legitimately only bought 6 broccolis and the 2 plants that I showed you. So this is all mine out here. So thank God, at least for this space, because I get to do more. My out front's a little different. Don't mind the central air noise, but just growing things that'll just come back, decorative type of thing. Some stray sunflowers. There's 2 spider plants. Mint in there, mint in here. So yeah, that's my out front. So when I see a lot of channels or people talk about, you know, like Jess spoke of, sorry about that, I was trying to shut my gate. Jess spoke about before she got her farm, you know, and of different ways of trying to garden, or she did the kiddie pool idea. I am trying everything, as you can see. This is probably the most I've ever grown, but that's okay. If the cabbages ever come out before it's too late, I would love to get some more of these peppers in the ground. And like I said, I do have a community box across the street. Oh, this has grown a little tomato. And she's a nurse. She works for a great hospital here, and she gave me these amazing tomato plants. Plus, I still have some of my tomato plants. There's nowhere really around here to sell them to anyone. And you're already starting seeds. There's more tomatoes back there. Just some supplies I might need. It's my shed. I keep a lot of... we had landscapers that were in here after they took the trees out. I don't know if you could see this. I will try to zoom in. But that's where my office is, and they just did the landscaping there and put trees in. So one thing I did ask is if they were going to throw all these containers out, and they said yes. I asked if I could have them, and that is how I planted some of my stuff, in those types of containers. That is my dog, Coco Chanel, my Yorkie, who is biting her fingernail. I have 2 Yorkies. There's Sophia Loren. They're like my babies. I'm a mom of 3. They're grown. I have a 21-year-old who still lives here. And I have a daughter who's 32. She'll be 33 in August. And then my other son, he is 24. He's a great worker, and he's traveling around playing golf. That's like his thing. So they let mom do their thing. I did mention to my one son, oh, I so wish I could get a homestead. And he was like, what? It's a lot of work. But I was raised in Mount Pocono. I was not raised here in like Bucks County. I was raised up in Mount Pocono. I know what some hard work is. I'm also a person that suffers from anxiety, and I've always gardened. I just felt like it helped my anxiety. And yeah, now I feel like it's more of like a survival mode. Like, I need to grow as much food as I possibly can. Sorry about my dogs barking in the background. I think when the neighbors were going by with their dog. Right, Soph? Would you like to come out? So, under the circumstances of me being in a rented townhouse community, I'm doing the best that I can. I want to grow a lot of things. I like beautiful things. I eat pretty healthy. I don't know if you could see somewhat in the glass. I didn't want to show my face. Not today, anyway, and that's because, I mean, I'm a little bit on the thinner side. I'm 5'8.5". I've always been thin. It's in my genes. But I got a little sun poisoning on my mouth, on my bottom lip, so didn't think that that would be a great first impression. Miss Sophia, would you like to say hi? Would you like to say hello? Stop barking. So yeah, I mean, I'll get into more about myself. Besides just the gardening, I'm making that a priority right now. I bake and cook. It just came natural for me to have like a chef quality. I did go to industrial baking school, and that was interesting because who wants to make 5 million sticky buns? But I feel as if I'll have a lot of content to share, a lot of informative information, and I'm just hoping to be able, now that I'm home, to be able to do a YouTube channel and fit into a great community, and maybe be able to make this a great, wonderful channel. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Hopefully I didn't talk too much. I probably did. And until next time, let's bake a leg and dig it.